think. The left cannot go any lower. They prove to you time and time again that you're a fool because they can go even lower than that. Before we get into that, good morning, good afternoon, good evening. And I say that because somewhere around the world, it's that time. You woke up with Tony X, and before we get into anything else, I gotta get into this. Please do remember that the New Right Party channel and the New Red Party show is sponsored by patriots like you. And as long as you're sending these donations, it allows me to create the content that will continue to make these motherfuckers sick. As you were.
Versus the family and my family entertainment and his team no sleep. Flossy high and yeah we made it. The haters keep on hating on the songs that we be making, and I heard they want my soul. Illuminati wanna take it. Versus the family and my family entertainment and his team no sleep. Flossy high and yeah we made it. The haters keep on hating on the songs that we be making, and I heard they want my soul. Illuminati wanna take it.
CEO, bullshit, paying for the pussy, I endorse it, riding through the city, that's my off. People. You know, I gotta start this off with a little morning humor.
From Chicago as his running mate.
Political analysts say this may be too little, too late.
Hi, I'm with the Port Commission.
Yeah! I'm an athlete's foot fan.
Brother, hey, can you get my demo tape to somebody?
Hey, people, good morning to you, good morning to you, good morning to you. Just when you think the Democrats cannot stoop any lower, out comes this bitch, Hillary Clinton. Hillary. The wicked shall not rest, for they are soulless, and only the good can overcome these people. It's the reason why I refuse to get sleep. My body has to beat me into submission because these devils are always at work. Tiger uppercut. First, let's get some excerpts. Trump in a bitch. And then let's get into Hillary. Shout out again to Brandon Tatum. Prayers to Kaya Jones. Her father had a heart attack. And I didn't really get the news until later on in the show. Prayers with her, everyone. If you can, make sure you shoot her and her family some prayers. Prayers lift people up, and that's what we do.
Say they're babies. Of course they're babies. The political people. This is the most deceptive, vicious world I don't think the president has ever been more confident that he can do the job than he is today.
One of the things that Kim has asked for is for you to ease the sanctions.
We haven't done that. This isn't the Obama administration.
President Trump and First Lady Melania heading to the Florida Panhandle today in the wake of Hurricane Michael.
In retrospect, do you think Bill should have resigned in the wake of the Monica Lewinsky scandal?
Absolutely not.
It wasn't an abuse of power?
No.
It's patently obvious that he abused the power of the Oval Office, and for Hillary Clinton to still be in denial of that goes to show you why she lost.
The anger.
It goes to show you why anyone associated with this sociopath is extremely wicked. Every female that was outside crying and banging on the Senate doors should feel like a dumbass right now. And if any one of you are here to view out of interest, or if you're here to view to troll, I'm not here to bash you and beat you up. Because, honestly, I know you feel foolish already. And I know you feel bad. Because here it is, you have a black man from the hood telling you everything you've been shouting and screaming is a falsehood. Everything that you've been saying that you're doing for the inner cities are lies. And then you have Hillary Clinton again double down on everything she said in the past. Everything that she said in the past about Miss Juanita Broderick, Miss Paula Jones, Monica Lewinsky, every female that this man has encountered in his deviant sexual manner, she has disrespected these women, called them trailer trash. I mean, you name it, she said it. And then she doubles down, 2018, and she tells you that he didn't abuse the power of the Oval Office. He abused every office that he had. There wasn't one place that this man was that there wasn't a sexual allegation brought up against him. And I'm a true believer that where there's smoke, there's fire.
Among the Democratic Party is genuine.
We need to overthrow the government of the United States under.
This is what Alec Baldwin just said. He should be arrested right now. That's a crime. What he just said is a crime. We have free speech, but we don't have that speech. We do not have that speech. When entertainers sell products, they are no longer a person. Let me explain to you. They become an entity or corporation within themselves. They become product ambassadors. To sum it up, it means that they have a great deal of influence. That's the reason why people watch shows. It's the reason why people are buying garments. Said it in a prior show. I'll say it again today. None of these actors has the right to say these things. Because if regular people like you and I said these things online, they would come to our door. Money and fame shouldn't protect these individuals from outright and blatantly expressing to you that they are enemies of the people. When you talk of overthrowing the government, you are talking about overthrowing the United States government. And then you spew this dumb shit to millions of people as if it's okay and it's legal. People. Why is it that these individuals get to even have their jobs? Why is it that it's the same individuals every time you turn around. When you look at all of those rappers that came to Barack Obama's White House, all you are looking at are the new inductees. That's it. Just all the people Barack Obama put his arms around and told, when it's time and I call on you, I need you to stand up and be there. That's it. New mind slaves. Because no one really conscious of what's going on sat there and met Obama and didn't realize that he was part of the New World Order. And if they didn't, then they're truly not qualified to speak to you and give you any kind of information. Yet he went from the streetest, which was Rick Ross, to the most conscious, which was J. Cole, and even got the in-between, the so-called king and queen, Jay-Z and Beyonce. That was done on purpose. Because none of those rappers that came to the White House actually presented successful policy change. Jay-Z talked about prison reform and made a movie about prison reform. Or no, I'm sorry. He made a movie about a black kid that was incarcerated in Rikers, that was abused by inmates and COs, and he was innocent of the crime that he was charged with. They held him there for a couple of years, maybe 2 years or 3 years, without a trial. And then when he came home, he couldn't conform, and he ended up committing suicide. And then Jay-Z made a movie after the fact of him committing suicide. But Jay-Z met him before he committed suicide. Now you understand? Jay-Z knew him before he committed suicide. Jay-Z made money off this dead kid. They advocated for laws on the Rockefeller Law. Guess where the Rockefeller Law resides itself? In New York City, which is a democratic state. State that impoverishes, oppresses on a daily basis its black Americans. And then bombard them with fucking lies. Send a bunch of fucking foreign nationals into their communities to take it over, to keep the black dollar from reinvesting within its fucking self. That way black people cannot get themselves up. What the fuck you thought? You wasn't going to hear the truth on this show? You're dumb. You're going to get the truth here. The reason why these grants are given to these foreign nationals and these other ethnic groups from other countries, and then they're placed in your communities, is so you cannot have a say in your community. When you get arrested, they ask, what ties do you have to the community? And the only way you are liable to make bail that night is if you have a state or city job. Other than that, you just might be fucking sitting there. There's a reason why they ask you if you're employed or not. Because if you're not, well, in most cases, niggas aren't, so stick around. You need bodies. Put them on the bus and put them in the Rikers. Put them in the holding buildings. This is what the Democrats do. And then when they had your silly ass locked up and you screaming fuck Trump like it's his fault, you dumbass motherfuckers, you're all sitting in democratic cities and democratic states, and them same fucking prison guards are all voting blue too. The cops voting blue too. Got your ass sitting there crying red, but everybody been beating your ass blue and you haven't fucking realized it yet? If you a fucking female and you stood outside with a bunch of fucking posts and flyers and shit screaming, we believe the survivors, we believe the survivors, we believe the survivors. Why the fuck don't you believe Miss Juanita Broderick? Why the fuck does Hillary Clinton get to tell you 2018, her husband, didn't disrespect the Oval Office, telling you women don't matter. People, they compared Kanye West's curse to an attack on the White House. Kanye West's present as an attack on the White House. This man got his little dick sucked in the Oval Office. LBJ called blacks niggas in the Oval Office. Nixon called blacks niggas in the Oval Office. And we sitting here talking about Kanye West visiting the president. I'm gonna need you people to wake up the reason, man. If you live in a democratic state or city, that is a police state or a police city, whether you realize it or not. Look at New York City transit right now. Look at the subway system. Why is it that the transit system, they don't seem to have enough money in their budget? They have fired a lot of the booth workers, replaced them with machines where you have to purchase cards, Metro cards. I don't know how much it is now, but it's probably more than $5. A round trip is probably $7 on that card. But the subway system's still shit. They still got rats the size of my fucking whole fucking forearm in New York City running around. I shit you not. The subway system is failed, it's dilapidated, and it only looks nice in places where tourists frequent. Because when you go to other parts of New York City and you're on the train, you realize it looks like shit. You see a great amount of homeless people down there seeking the warmth from the cold. You see them sleeping outside on the gates that lets up the heat. But yet they keep charging you more and more money, further restricting your movements. See, what you don't understand, black people, is that there's a reason why there's a household census. So they know what you're making. They know what you're making. They know how much it will cost for you to go to one place to the next. If you don't think that this is all planned, you're a damn fool. Because each area has its own set income. All rent in that area, no matter where you are in New York City, when you're in that area, all rent in that area will be all the same. So when they set a price point for a way for you to travel, they understand for higher people using this rails, it's affordable. But for people that once felt it was almost affordable to get that yearly pass are now feeling the struggle. And then the prices go up again and again. And then their check doesn't reflect the same amount as it once did because they're paying part of their check, 20% of it could be going to travel just to go to work. Get down from there right now. Pardon me, it's my cat.
Donald Trump.
Sure enough, gonna be a good time. It's a small town. Throw down, it's time to talk.
October 15th, this is the deadline. If you have not done your taxes, if you ask for an
Use the bathroom. Don't go nowhere.
extension, got to get it in today.
October 15th.
Yeah. A lot of people do extensions.
Who knew? Wow, I did not know that.
Yeah, well,
So, are you
need to
one
hang
of-
out with me more often. You're going to learn a wealth of information.
So, have you revealed
I
your
did
hand?
I did extension, yeah.
Okay, so today
But my
you-
taxes are done.
Okay.
Right.
Thank goodness.
Hey, I don't know if you noticed, but last night the president gave maybe his fourth major interview in 3 days, and he gave it to 60 Minutes. And I knew that this was going to be a new interview because there was no headlines coming out of the tease. Usually when the president sits down ahead of time with 60 Minutes, on Friday they start letting you know whatever that story is, what kind of new news is coming out. nothing really emerged from this. But the tone and tenor, I think, was the story.
It was a tough interview. Lots of Republicans upset. They thought she was disrespectful and obnoxious, what some people were saying. She was a tough interview, though. And when you're a journalist, you got to ask those tough questions. She did interrupt a few times, but I thought he looked great because he was able to answer all of the questions. He was very real and authentic.
She would make a point. Variety this morning is talking a little bit about how she let him get away because she didn't have any facts. When, for instance, the first thing they show images of the hurricane, and they talk about immediately climate change, and then he's talking about, well, you know, the climate is changing, but we don't know if it's man-made or if it's a gigantic climactic wave or a cycle or something like that, as has been depicted. And then she goes, well, all these scientists are talking about it. And he goes, what scientists? And she didn't have a name.
Right.
So had she been able to back that up,
or even in a situation like that, make up a name, right? Just come out with something.
Well, there are a lot of scientists that do believe it. I don't think she necessarily had to have a scientist's name there. There are a lot of scientists, but there are, as the president said, there are scientists that disprove what those scientists say. They can't all agree.
I thought Marco Rubio had the best line. He goes, right, there is climate change going on. What man's role in that, we don't know. And remember, we're a country, not a planet. We're not in control of the whole planet.
Sure, exactly. So anyway, if you missed it, it was contentious. There was a lot of back and forth, and here's about 90 seconds of it if you missed it.
Let me see a one if that sound better, because Shannon just told me some people were complaining about the mic. I'm back. Let me know if that's better. These damn energy drinks running through you.
Do you still think that climate change is a hoax?
I don't think it's a hoax.
Do you agree that Vladimir Putin is involved in assassinations, in poisonings?
Probably he is, yeah, probably. I mean, I don't...
Probably?
Probably.
Will you pledge that you will not shut down the Mueller investigation?
Well,
Look at the Democrats sending in, look at them. What do you think this bitch is? Why do you think they're begging for it? Because nothing has come from this shit.
I don't pledge anything. I don't want to pledge. Why should I pledge to you? If I pledge, I'll pledge. I don't have to pledge to you.
What about North Korea? I want to read you his resume, okay? He presides over a cruel kingdom of repression, gulags, starvation. This is a guy you love.
I know all these things. I mean, I'm not a baby. I know all these
but why? We've also slapped some tariffs on our allies. This is hostile.
And yet it's not hostile.
It sounds hostile.
You know what's hostile? The way they treat us.
Have you made any mistakes? That's my question.
Everybody makes mistakes.
And what have been yours?
I could have been earlier with terminating the NAFTA deal.
What about the forced separation of children? What have you learned?
I never knew how dishonest the media was.
I'm going to change the subject again.
Well, no, but even the way you asked me a question, like about separation.
Yeah.
When I say Obama did it, you don't want to talk about it.
No.
When I say I did it, let's make a big deal.
I'm going to run your answer, but you did it 4 times.
I'm just telling you that you treated me much differently on the subject.
I disagree, but I don't want to have that fight with you.
Hey,
it's okay. Have another fight with you.
Leslie, it's okay. In the meantime, I'm president and you're not.
That's hilarious. What he was able to do was he was able to stay on his message. Whatever she was going to ask him, he was going to answer it.
You see, this is how you know she's a Democratic operative. Because if she was unbiased, she would have asked questions about Barack Obama. How can you not compare Donald Trump's presidency to Barack Obama's presidency? When you compare Barack Obama's presidency to George Bush's presidency, every chance you got. When Barack Obama always reverted to his predecessor and talked about how he mishandled the economy and how he was trying to do his very best. How? When every time they want to talk about approval ratings, they run to Barack Obama's chart. And they put Trump's chart next to it. And they try to make it seem as if Barack Obama it will always be the best and greatest president. She went there trying to bully this man as them dummies do. And in doing so, she got trumped.
But then add the Trumpian twist, his point of view. Ultimately, because he's so media savvy, he refused to play by the typical rules of engagement when it comes to a big 60-minute interview. I looked online to try to find the 60 Minutes Overtime, the complete interview, so we could see what was left on the cutting room floor. I couldn't find it.
Yeah.
I don't know if they've released it, because it would be interesting to see. It could be out there, but it would be interesting to see how much got left.
Well, one thing that he did say I thought was interesting. He says, "You didn't ask me about President Obama. This was on the books."
Mm-hmm.
He said, "But he didn't enforce it." Well, that's his problem. They didn't enforce it. I'm enforcing
about
it.
immigration.
And
she didn't ask him about President Obama because I told you that she is a liberal CIA operative. I've already played on prior shows when the CIA was asked in front of the Senate, do you have anyone from the CIA working in the news media and or television networks? He said, this is something I would have to answer in a closed session. Telling you that the fucking CIA definitely got people working in fucking television. You're a dummy if you don't think they do.
Yeah, about immigration. And by the way, the Democrats are under this unsaid rule, don't bring up immigration because it's so unpopular with the American people, their stance from the midterms. But what he was saying is, now they're coming out, this administration is about to come out with a new policy that says women and children who come to the border, you can stay together for 20 days. Then you got to have a choice. We take the kid and we bring him to relatives and you go back, or you both go back together.
Well,
that could be a new nuance. I thought the president was going to use it as an opportunity to say that last night.
Don't you think, Brian and Steve, though, after we saw what happened with Brett Kavanaugh, people look at the president differently now? Because the president would say, mainstream media doesn't like me, it's fake news, and Democrats didn't believe him because they just said, of course he's going to say that. But then we saw what happened with Brett Kavanaugh. We were able, as a public, to see...
Man, this is the thing I'm talking about. See, even with Shorty right here, right? This is the thing that I don't like. This is why Fox lose cool points at some points. There's a reason why I don't really even watch this show, and I'm pretty sure they're cool people. But the American people knew it. That's why we didn't vote for Hillary Clinton. Hillary Clinton was the established politician. Her husband boasted the fact that he balanced the budget, even though we all know Republicans had a lot to do with that. They boast his record. Her popularity, she had everyone and their mama saying they were for her. So the American people was well aware during that time. It was well before Kavanaugh. With Kavanaugh, what you don't understand is they're fucking pushing us so fucking close to the fucking edge that they don't realize that they don't even have guns and we do. They're actually pushing on the people with the guns and saying, hey, listen, rifle up. Listen, I don't want to harm you or hurt you. You need to stop. You're acting crazy. It's going to be to the point where the butts of the rifles will start to land on heads. I'm telling you, people. Because even people that were once considering voting for the Democrats are looking at what the fuck is happening right now and what that bitch just said, and they're thinking, I can't do that.
Both sides of that story and make up our own minds, and then we would watch mainstream media and their reaction. So now when I see the president...
And now this is what happens. These Democratic front runners for the House and Senate, every last one of them that stood next to her, that has a picture with Hillary Clinton, that allows her to come into their state and then talk and talk on their behalf and everything else, will be digging themselves in a deep, deep hole. Any Democrats that are claiming that they're Democrats and they're for people right now, Maxie Pad Waters, Crooked Eye Cory Booker, Pocahontas, every last one of these people, if they don't come out after Hillary Clinton just said that, and they don't tell you that they denounce Hillary Clinton and what she just said, they too are telling you that it's okay for women to be raped. And the only time they have a problem with it is when they lie and say someone else did it. So when it happens truthfully and honestly, they do not care. They only care when they lie about it and they make it up.
Sit down with someone in the mainstream media who we know.
Tawana Brawley, Dr. Harris, the other bitch that says she seen 9 gangbangs. She was there for them. She attended the party.
doesn't agree with him, and that's okay. It was a tough interview. It was a good interview. We got to see both sides. We can make up our own minds. And when the president says that the media is wrong, the media is dishonest, many people are now paying attention more and believing him more because of what we saw with Brett Kavanaugh. If you're a conservative in this country, you have to be tough as nails because the mainstream media is going to go after you.
I think if you don't like Donald Trump, you saw that last night, you probably thought, he never answered a single one of her many questions. If you do like Donald Trump, I think you'd probably say, hey, look, he stood up to 60 Minutes, the media elite. Dan Bongino says the media, they don't quite get.
And that's another thing I don't like. The fact that these people keep throwing out that word elites. These people are not elite. They're not elite at all and in the slightest. They're old, manipulative, and weak. And because physically they cannot force us to give up our guns. And because physically they cannot force us to abandon our children. They put out mind game programs that have us impoverished, angry, and arguing and fighting with one another instead of actually going to the source that's actually causing the people to be impoverished. Imagine if people started to blame the individuals that they voted for the shit that they actually was going through in life. And they didn't just blame it on one man as if he's responsible for it all. The Democrats have done a great injustice to all of their cities. And to put a face and to blame what it is that they've done, they've nominated Donald Trump as their fall guy. I know some people are like, but it's two parties for a reason. Well, actually, there's three parties. It's the independent party too. But why is the two parties the focused parties? Because they were established to keep us bickering. At some point, they used this against us. But Donald Trump isn't your everyday conservative. Donald Trump is a creative conservative. Donald Trump has true traditional American values, and he adheres to them, and they're conservative. But Donald Trump will tell you, shut the fuck up, which is very creative. There's a big difference in this type of conservative movement than what your granddad was. We are past the point of sitting in suits from one another and hailing indirect insults. These people are outside physically assaulting children, old people, women. And then this bitch gets on television and then she tells you that Bill Clinton is innocent. He's not responsible. He didn't disrespect the office. Snoop Dogg tells you he smoked a blunt inside the White House. Shit, I want to smoke a blunt inside the White House, Snoop Dogg. Is that the reason why you run around here trying to sell out Kanye West and you trying to sell out black people? It's because you got a chance to smoke a blunt in the White House? I'm smoking a blunt in the Oval Office right now. To you, you laughing, but to me, nigga, it's all the same. It's all the same. You know, when I was in prison and they wanted me to do a detail, you know, I'm a barber by nature. I used to tell them I'm either going to work in the barbershop or I'm not going to work at all. Like, I'm going to have a job that I want to do. I'm not going to work. And when they told me that they would put me in a box, you know what I would tell them? Let's go. It doesn't matter. I'm still doing time. It doesn't matter. The location doesn't matter. The days will pass, and I'm still going to go home. I don't got forever. Because when I first went in there, I was a young little savage, fighting and not caring. And then I realized that I was going to go home because I had someone who had 140 years who I was sharing a cell with walking there after his own brother testified against him and lied on him. So his own brother didn't get the time. I watched as this man beat the walls with his bare knuckles and cried and came to me and told me, boy, listen, you are going to get yourself killed in here if you do not prepare yourself to go home. because I'm never going to go home. Snoop Dogg, me smoking a blunt here inside the studio is just the same as me smoking a blunt inside the White House. It is all the same to me, bro. You cooning out here, but you're not cooning, though. You Sam Bowen. You're not a coon. You Sam Bowen. You Sam Bo. You triple blackface. And that's fucked up. You got these triple black faces running around here doing a complete minstrel show and then telling you that Kanye is the monkey in the suit. When I look at a man who's pushing 50 years old with gold fucking fronts in his mouth, trying to look like he's in his fucking 20s. I got a full set of gold teeth. Snoop, I'm way younger than you. I hardly wear them shits. And I find myself not wearing them at all. Because after a while, the fashion shit, it doesn't really mean anything. And for you, I mean, you're 50 years fucking old. You having gold teeth in your mouth. I don't know for the fuck what. Because once I turn 40, I'm getting out of all sneakers anyway. Too fucking old to be dressing that way. Maybe not. I do make it look real good. You got idiots like Snoop Dogg telling you Kanye's a sellout. I have someone who just went on my joint and said, fuck Kanye West, fuck Trump. You know what these people don't do? They don't give any reason as to why they're saying it. They're only saying it because they can. And the only reason why they are able to say it is because of the Republican Party. The only reason why you can say fuck Donald Trump is because the Republican Party gave you the right to. Let that sink in. I'm going to start saying that on a lot of these shows for a lot of you new people that are coming in here trying to troll and say dumb shit. I'm going to just hit you with the one simple fact that the only reason why your ass got a computer in front of you is because of the Republican Party. Because if the Democrats would have had it their way, your ass would be working on fucking plantations still to this day.
Him. Very rarely ever do politicians fight back because...
How do you have a former Secret Service agent come out and tell you that the Clintons is fucking foul and bad? He's a fucking former Secret Service agent. This is, Bongino's a badass. This motherfucker had training, man. He shoots that gun. Yeah, he shoots that gun. This man has had physical training. I believe he stays in physical shape. Bright and intelligent. In order to get to become a Secret Service member, you have to be willing to die emphatically. And he's telling you that these people ain't shit. What the fuck, man?
Because they're afraid. They're afraid they're going to look bad. Donald Trump gave back every single thing he got and more. I tweeted out last night. If you're missing this right now, you are missing epic television. I mean, he gave it back. That line he said at one point, well, I'm the president and you are not. And then there's another point where she asked him to make a pledge. He says, rightfully so, I don't need to make a pledge to you. I'm the president of the United States. I'll make a pledge when I need to make a pledge. This is why people like Donald Trump. It's not rudeness or brashness.
Trump should have said, you know what, since you just brought it up, I'm looking to end that investigation.
It's that Donald Trump doesn't succumb to this media pressure, to be weak, and he fights right back.
Went up on the ABC poll, 6 points. 6 points from now he's up to 41% approval, which is still low, but considering 92% of his media coverage is negative, the one thing that I think that everyone's missing, not everything that he does, because it's different, is wrong. Because the president's approaching things from a different angle, people go crazy. Let's say people that are independent-minded or lean left with their media. Sometimes you got to sit back and go, well, the president's approaching this differently. The results are changing markedly. When it comes to the economy, they're turning into some major victories. And then when you are critical of maybe his future stance on Saudi Arabia, if you don't like it, people give you more credit. If you would actually say in North Korea that nobody has solved North Korea, the president's going at it totally different. Let's see.
I have, for viewers to see, I have 6,923 subscribers. But I actually have 7,000 subscribers right now. And YouTube is holding these followers. And I don't know why, but what YouTube is doing is they're censoring the chat, so they'll hold it up. And I already took that off so people can say whatever it is that they want. But they still do it. And right now I'm looking at it, and I can show you with the camera that it says 7,000 subscribers on it. And when I'm looking at the post of it, it's just showing me that they're holding these accounts because they think these accounts could be spam accounts. I don't think that a lot of them are spam accounts. I think that some people are new, and in order for them to subscribe, they have had to have a channel, and a lot of people do not have a channel. So when they start a new channel and they don't have any posts, then YouTube is using this as an excuse to hold these subscribers from my subscribers list. I don't care if they're here to troll or not. It really doesn't make me no never mind. They're holding subscribers away because they don't want the subscribers to show the true count. The true count should be over 7,000 subscribers right now. So whoever said it should be close to 10,000, you may not be wrong about where how close it should be. You would be surprised at how close that number actually is when looking at everything in front of you right now.
They would have much more respect to, why do you love him? Why are you saying things about... Then he gets defensive. People don't get anywhere.
He's a disruptor. He does things differently. Regarding the interview, Variety, the trade publication, said...
You love that magazine.
Well, they are the only critical review
so thick
out there this
they have the clone you can pull out.
He's only quoted it twice.
Yeah,
I know. They say,
you love it.
That's right. He's a bad guy. That's what Leslie Stahl said last night. Anyway, they say, by pushing through questions and by capitalizing on an interview approach seeking to synthesize the entire presidency into 2 segments on television, Trump effectively converted 60 minutes into a short rally. Think about it.
Yeah.
There were a lot of sound bites in there that you hear
Let
at
us
Trump
know
rallies.
what you thought about it.
Yeah.
Send us your comments, friends@foxnews.com.
So it was so funny. This is almost a Seinfeld episode. I'll include Carly in this so everyone doesn't yell at me in the green in the control room. But Leslie Stahl did an interview with
an ancestor and her family dating back 6 to 10 generations. Now, if that's true, she'd be 1/32nd Native American. But if it's 10 generations back, she'd only be 1/512th Native American.
Why doesn't she do 23andMe and just end this?
She went a little bit more serious with it. The analysis of Warren's DNA was done by Carlos Bustamante, a Stanford University professor.
1/512th. So you're saying there's a chance.
So you're saying there's a chance, no matter what. I have a feeling President Trump's nickname for her isn't going anywhere.
Pocahontas.
Could be right.
All right, straight ahead. Thank you, Carly. I owe you a favor. The Democrat running for Georgia's governor says a blue wave is coming and illegals are a part of it? What?
It's made up of those who've been told that they are not worthy of being here. Yeah. It is comprised of those who are documented and undocumented. Yeah.
Should I...
Look how they get these motherfuckers to talk to you like preachers. As I showed you prior. And I told you who the fuck they get and who they use. Why do they use the black woman? Because they made her the head of the house and they miseducated her every chance they got. She don't realize she's up there killing her own children. Because most women don't realize they running in abortion clinics and killing their own children. It's not an abortion, the shit is murder. They changed the name of what the fuck it is so you feel comfortable about it. She don't understand that she's up there screaming for you to continuously to be fucking murdered, oppressed. And her fat dumb ass would have her head down, shaking her head, crying like a motherfucker, and fucking restraints, walking on the fucking line with the rest of the fucking human slaves, going to fucking FEMA camps to be fucking incinerated. Because her stupid dumb ass held that mic in her hand instead of a dick that would have made her a lot more fucking happy had she had something to suck on to keep her fucking mouth shut. And I don't give a fuck who gets mad about what the fuck I'm saying about her. Because everything this bitch is saying right now affects me and my fucking family. That's why. This bitch is not presenting facts. This bitch is presenting motherfucking propaganda. She's not giving you true she's not giving you true proof that you can't refute. This bitch is just sitting there talking about what the fuck we don't want these motherfuckers here, and I don't want to pay for the motherfuckers who shouldn't be here. Because when you get here, the objectivity is to become legal, or your ass do not deserve to be here. And why the fuck is it that we have to compromise now with these motherfuckers when the Democrats never had to compromise when it came to fucking immigration reform? They was deporting motherfuckers out of here left and right. Barack Obama deported more motherfuckers than any other fucking president in history. So why the fuck is it stuck on us now? Because if it is, then we just want to enforce the fucking laws and make them a lot more stricter. No, you can't come over here and have drugs on you and have your kid with you and expect to keep the kid. And they need to go the fuck back too. We're not responsible for raising motherfuckers' kids. We got a bunch of kids here. Americans die every day and leave behind children. We got our own fucking kids to worry about. Nobody got time to worry about nobody else's. And I know this shit may sound heartless, but we give a ton of aid to a bunch of fucking countries. We play our fucking part. We are not the whole world. We are a fucking country, and we are supposed to worry about our country first. The problem is these Democrats have led these dumbasses to believe outside that we have enough to share with every fucking body. Because most of these people they telling this shit to haven't been outside of where the fuck they live in the fucking first place.
I've said, yeah, Brian Kemp joins us live next.
And Hollywood stars are lining up to donate to the Dems, but not Dean Cain. He has a message for his famous friends out in Hollywood. That's coming up.
Can't wait to get this thing started. The sky full of moon.
Well, have you heard Bill and Hillary Clinton are going to do a road show?
Finally.
They're gonna do a live stage show. And
Aren't tickets expensive?
They are up to a couple $100
Some
on
of them,
Live
right.
Nation. So stay tuned. They're coming to your...
Live Nation. Live Nation is Jay-Z. Do you see what I'm saying about these sellouts? Do you see how these people sold you out? This nigga rap about a struggle, rap about empowerment and wealth creation and all the while behind your back stabbing the shit out of you with a big fucking knife. While this old lady sitting in front of you with towels saying, "Oh my gosh, you're bleeding." People don't fall for the fucking distraction, man. In order to secure their place in the world, these people have sold you out because they have been sold the idea that we will not win, that we are dumb, we are not smart enough, and we are not intelligent enough to understand what's happening. And it's going to happen regardless. Not going to lie, I once believed that too. And then I seen Donald Trump stand up. And then I believed, finally, for once in my life, that we had a fighting chance.
Town. CBS did an interview with Hillary Clinton, and she's going to find this more now than ever before because of the Me Too movement. They look back at the accusers of President Clinton, and they look at the affair that's been confirmed that he denied with Monica Lewinsky. And now when Hillary Clinton wants to talk about what a bad person Trump is, she keeps getting this question from responsible interviewers. Listen.
In retrospect, do you think Bill should have resigned in the wake of the Monica Lewinsky scandal?
Absolutely not.
It wasn't an abuse of power?
No.
There are people who look at the incidents of the 90s and they say a president of the United States cannot have a consensual relationship with an intern. The power imbalance is too
Who was
great.
an adult. But let me ask you this. Where's the investigation of the current incumbent? Again.
You see the spin? Did you see the spin? She didn't answer the question. She gave him a question.
Against whom numerous allegations have been made, and which he dismisses.
Her mouth is dry. You hear her smacking a lot. You hear smacking a lot, and her mouth is dry because she's nervous. When you're nervous, your mouth becomes dry. You're not a smoker. You're not a drinker. You salivate normally. You drool normally as a person. Her mouth is very dry. And she's nervous. She said he has numerous allegations. Her husband paid someone $800,000 because of an allegation. That's even when it comes to terms of paying women off, Donald Trump shows he's a better businessman than Bill Clinton. Because Stormy Daniels got 100-something thousand. Paula Jones got $800,000 in the 90s, which would have been equivalent to $1 million. Bill Clinton's check paid for someone's living expenses for the rest of their lives. Well, Stormy Daniels currently has to strip in bars and show you her uterus with dollar bills.
Denies and ridicules. So there was an investigation, and it.
Listen to her. When she talks. That's coming from her having a dry mouth.
As I believe, came out in the right place.
It came out that her husband was a sexual predator, sexual deviant, and he was impeached.
They disbarred him, and he was found to be lying under oath, and they impeached him. That's, I guess she supports that. But here's the most important thing. Whatever happened with President Trump, he denies, and it happened before he was President Trump. What happened with Hillary Clinton and Bill Clinton happened while he was president.
I understand the laws are you can't sleep with or be with a subordinate. You can't do that. You can't be the boss and then employ someone, and people think that's taking advantage.
Especially when Yasser Arafat's in the waiting room.
And it's hard if you work for someone, it would be harder for you to say no because you're worried about losing your job, whatever. So I understand that point. But also, I think her point is she's saying Monica's at fault too. Monica could have said no. She knows right from wrong.
We will never forget Benghazi. I mentioned it indirectly yesterday when I talked about her letting Americans die when she was in Barack Obama's state.
An adult. She was 22 years old when
That's
it happened.
what she said. Well, Kristen Gillibrand, who is the senator from New York State, a couple of months ago said that absolutely Bill Clinton, should have stepped down. Bree Payton joined Ainsley in the first hour and had this to say about Hillary's denial of the question.
Of course, Bill Clinton accused his power when he had an affair with Monica Lewinsky. Sure, she was an adult, but, when you take power imbalances like someone being the president of the United States and someone being an intern, she wrote herself in a Vanity Fair article that kind of renders consent moot, right? It's patently obvious that he abused the power of the Oval Office, and for Hillary Clinton to still be in denial of that, 20 years later now, goes to show you why she lost.
20 years later, I kind of think, stop asking her about it.
Right.
Don't you think enough?
Well, the thing is, Ainsley, for the longest time, they wrote...
So for over 20 years, she's been a misogynist. For over 20 years, she's been... I believe that there are allegations against Hillary Clinton disclosing that she's also a rapist. And I can't find myself... to believe that any decent woman would stay with a man with so many allegations. I do believe she likes to lick pussy. I know she likes to lick nipples.
About they never got questions on it at all. But you cannot sit there and accuse Donald Trump of all these things and back the accusers and not look and say, what about your...
I bring up Haiti every day.
her husband. Look what happened before
And where's
that.
the investigation into the other women that accused him, too?
And, everything that happened with the president, he's 72. Whatever happened before, that was his life before. You can look at that or not look at that. It's up to you. It's going to be handled in court. But nobody said over the last 2 years that things are going on in the White House where this president, the 40th president of the United States, can't answer that question.
So what do you think? Email us, friends@foxnews.com.
40 seconds.
Or tweet us or Facebook us.
All right, it's the number one independent movie in America, and it focuses on an abortion doctor. So why aren't critics even reviewing Gosnell? Dean Cain, the executive producer and star, has an idea. He's live next.
Plus, Kellyanne Conway is going to join us live in a few minutes.
Yep.
It is time now for your news.
All right, people. So, they're going to regurgitate the same thing and go back and forth. We're not going to do that with them. We're not going to do that with them at all. What I'm going to do is I'm going to open up the phone lines because I haven't done that in a while. So you can call up and text, and you can have a conversation with your boy. I want to be able to talk to the people. We haven't had this done in a while. Why not do it now? Feel free to call up. You're answering the phone. Yep. My moderators, you can text me if you got Skype, and if you want to Skype, I'll let you Skype. But I'm gonna open it up. Thank you, Dolores Law. Anyone that want to text, you can text it. Something you want to say. You don't have to call up if you don't want to. You can definitely call up though and or text. Let's see. We already talked about that. Shout out to Brandon Tatum again, man. Shout out to Brandon Tatum, man. That was an honor having the brother on the show. The real ones reach out, and for Brandon Tatum to have 100,000 subscribers, and for him to reach out to me, and for him to keep it real, and for Candace Owens to have millions of people on her platform, and for her to reach out to me, shows me that there are real people trying to make real things happen. They're trying to reach out and make things happen on a level that the world has never seen before. And I'm telling you that I really look forward to doing Turning Point USA. There's other people out there who could have reached out to me. We could have been, tried to do something, whether we go speak somewhere, together at college, anything, invite me to talk, and nothing. But this sister and this brother reached out and was like, listen, man, we are watching everything. You got your ear to the streets, and we got our ear to the streets too. And we definitely want to have you involved in what's going on. And that just shows you to what level these people are actually trying to make real change happen. He didn't have to do that. He was perfectly good in his own space. He has his own platform. doesn't need to do it for, for the clout or to make it seem like he's interested. The man is up and traveling everywhere. He does it on his own. Candace, again, on a whole different level. She's everywhere every day, 10 different meetings and everything else. But that's my sister, and I can call her and talk to her if I have a problem, and that's real. I am very appreciative. I'm appreciative of everybody that has subscribed to the channel, everyone that comes in and you're trying to figure out what's it about, and then you get in here and you start to hear the fucking truth and common sense. You're like, God damn, this dude is really talking some shit, man. The dude in the do-rag, man. The dude in the do-rag. I got some good news I want to announce. I had sent the message to Brandon, but I don't want to give out the name, but I have a huge New York City celebrity, and we was just in the DM talking, and about Kanye West and and everything else. I'm definitely trying to link up with this brother in Treyway, the record executive for 6ix9ine. And hopefully we'll be able to have them at Turning Point USA as well. I have something the Democrats can't take from me. Authenticity. You can call me a gangbanger, former drug dealer, whatever you want. But the one thing the streets are going to do is the streets is going to respect me. Period. And I definitely know that I got a lot of love and respect in the streets. And when black people hear me talk, the one thing they understand is I'm not fucking selling them out. We got the number up. Let me see. What do we have in Texas yet? Nope. I'm not going to take that message. Yeah, pardon me, people. I'm trying to find something. This is going to be big for America, though.
There is this question, though, around Democrats versus Republicans. And you have people like Kanye West who's saying, listen, love you guys and Democrats.
Excuse me 1 second.
Why do you get on FaceTime?
You know where I'm going with this. Kanye says that, we have to time out for Democrats. What do you guys think?
Well, I think that, first of all, Kanye is an artist, man.
Yeah.
And he's a genius.
Absolutely.
Whatever he's saying right now, I think that the angle he's seeing things from is about the division that he sees. And he's not inconsistent with what he's saying. For instance, a decade ago, I read a quote where
This is the reason why I love David Chappelle. This is the reason why he left a $50 million deal and went to Africa, is because he understood what was going on. And the great thing about being a comedian is you can tell the truth and make people laugh at the same time.
He said he wanted to take the Confederate flag and reappropriate it some other different kind of way. I mean, it's a MAGA hat, whatever, man. The thing that's scary about this presidency is after it. I don't know if you've been married before or had a girlfriend and said something in a fight that was so wrong, and then after that, we still family, we still around each other, but man, I sure did say all that shit, didn't I? And I'm not mad at Kanye. That's my brother. I love him. I support him. I buy his albums.
No clap. Oh man, that was rough.
I know whether people clap or not. But you know, I don't have to agree with everything that he says. I just trust him as a person of intent.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, he shouldn't say all that shit. But
but let me take it on the argument then. So to take his personality out of it,
this is the reason why you see, and they try to have a whole segment on him to break him down. But this is the reason why you have to love someone like David Chappelle, because David Chappelle, he just kept it real. All right, so we had some people afraid to call up. The chat's always popping, man. I put the number up. People don't want to call up. I'm about to take it down. You know what time it is, people. And you know what I'm going to tell you. Stay safe. Stay healthy. Stay American. And always remember, fuck the other side, bitch. We don't care.